have a question for other black girls, because I just need to make sure out of the billions of us that exist, it's not just me, right? It's not just me that doesn't resonate. I don't see myself in this person. Or this person, like, at all. Or this person. Or this person. Or this person. It's not just me, right? So when girls that look like me, if it isn't clear, unambiguous, fully black girls, question why the hell there is literally no one right now, no big Gen Z actor, and I'm not talking about the 27-year-olds that barely passes Gen Z, I'm talking us younger Gen Z or teenagers, early 20s type people. There is no main pop girl. There is just not a lot of, if any, mainstream representation for fully black girls, just to be met back with stuff like, oh, but we have so and so and so, who are exactly what my point is, not fully black people, they are biracials or mixed race. They are out here calling Haley Steinfeld, who is 8, bloody black, black. Nico Parker, a quarter black. And she looks a quarter black, black. Am I supposed to see myself in these people? I'm confused. I'm so So I thought maybe it's because I'm dark skin or brown skin or whatever. I'm not a light skinned black person. So maybe light skinned black people who are obviously still fully black see themselves in the biracials. I go and ask my sister, who's quite a few shades lighter than me. She is a light skinned fully black person. And I ask her, I pull up Cat's Eye. Mind you, she's not familiar with Cat's Eye. And I say, who do you feel represented by in this group? And she doesn't say Manor, she says Lara. And I'm like, why? Because Lara is, you know, like my skin tone. She's quite darker than my sister. And she goes that she doesn't relate to the clearly mixed girl in the group. And that she feels closer in relatability to Lara, who is a full brown skinned POC. Now, obviously, my sister doesn't speak for all lighter skinned black people, but it still gave me a very interesting perspective. I just find the behavior of shutting down any black girl that talks about this ridiculous issue and basically shoving and forcing the one-drop rule down their throats. Well, you should be grateful we have biracial people out there. You should be glad. Oh, but she's still black. Who cares if it's only a great-great-great-great-granddad that's black? She's still black. She's black. She represents us black girls, whether you realize it or not. Who cares if she has green eyes and light skin and she looks super duper racially ambiguous and she has 3A hair while you're a dark-skinned girl with 4C hair? Who cares? Okay, she represents the black girls because white people said that anyone with a drop of black is black, and we have to go with what white people say because they control our minds, because we're still mentally enslaved, even though we like to claim that we hate white supremacy. So we claim that we hate white supremacy, but we still comply with it every single day and shut down anyone that questions it. Because you know what I do? Whenever I hear a white person next to me call a biracial person black, I go, what the fuck are you talking about? No, they are biracial. I call it out because it's white supremacists to still be carrying the one-drop rule. It's madness. It genuinely makes me feel like I'm living in a mad world sometimes. How can people not see the stupidity of it? Every single time you keep defending the one-drop rule, you make it worse for all of us. You allow these racist, white supremacist execs to keep doing it over and over again, giving our roles and our representation to the most whitest, quote-unquote, black person they can bloody find. And I think the most scariest and stupid thing that I'm seeing is that one-drop rule culture is being important to the UK. Why am I now seeing black British people call biracials black? This is like a phenomenon that I've started to observe, started happening about 8 months to a year ago, and I know damn well it's because of influence from America. I'm not blaming Americans, because at the end of the day, British people choose what they want to do, but we had a very sharp distinguish between biracials and black people, and that meant we didn't have this issue, unlike in America, where they will cast biracials and somehow the parents will be two dark-skinned like people, fully black people, and somehow their kid is supposed to be a fully black girl, because it always happens to girls, not the boys, just girls, is clearly ambiguous. The girl that plays the main character in Gen V, brilliant example, modern day Casey Undercover. Now I'm starting to see that coming here, and I have now started to see a decent amount of British shows where there's not a single black girl on the show that looks like me. There's tons of dark skin and unambiguously black men on the shows, but the same for women? No, it's just mixed race people. It's like I'm watching American media, but it's British. What is happening? Where is sense? Where is long-term thinking intelligence? Where are the black girls that think to myself, if I keep on complying with this one-drop rule, I am unfortunately adding to my own erasure, because on the long term it will be too normalized, right, for the biracials to take our space, our roles, our representation. Because this wouldn't be happening if the one-drop rule wasn't so normalized. It can't just be me. It can't just be me, right? It can't just be me, because every time I bring this up, there is more people for the one-drop rule than against, and it terrifies me. It's very scary. So I beg, is it just me?
Too much media.
Welcome to Too Much Media.
Too much media.
Too much.
Have fun.
Too much media.
My goodness, all of my sisters, please gather around the fire. We have too much to discuss. There are problems been arising in the land of the white man. Oh, no. Okay, guys, so the video that I put in the beginning of this is a video of a woman, and she's talking about how lately in mainstream media there have been no dark-skinned, black, unambiguous women represented in the culture, for acting, for music, for literally anything that has to do with entertainment. We don't have anybody in this generation. So I would say between like the 25 and under crew, like we don't really have anybody that's a dark-skinned black woman who we can point to, like how we used to with, like, you know, the Kikis, the Angelas, the Violas, the Tarajis, Nias, the list goes on. Like we used to have so many beautiful black women representing us in the culture back in the day, and now she's just speaking about how in mainstream media they're trying to like kind of brainwash us into being convinced that these light-skinned women are our representation because they have some black in them regardless, so they're supposed to be representing black women in the mainstream media. And I was listening to her kind of, you know, complain a bit and talk about how these women don't represent us and they don't like, she doesn't feel seen when she sees them. And of course I agree, like I don't feel seen if I see those, like I wouldn't see those actresses and stuff on the screen and think to myself, oh, good, they put a black woman in. I'll be like, okay, Becky with the good hair. I see you. Do your thing. I see you, girl. Get your gig. Get your money up. These coins. Don't leave shit on the table. You know? But it's like a thing where this has always been an issue where I always notice that in most mainstream media, when it comes to TV and movies, it is rare if there is a black character represented that the black character is used as a dark-skinned black woman. Usually, if they want to throw in some diversity, they will use a dark-skinned black man if they are going to go dark-skinned. And then if they're going to go woman, they're going to go light-skinned black woman. But usually, dark-skinned black woman, if they do put a dark-skinned black woman, there can be no white woman characters in it with him. So I noticed this since I was a kid. Like, this just shows you what type of child I was watching TV. Like, I'm analyzing every single aspect of the shows and movies I'm watching, because I always used to peep that if there was a white woman in a show, they would never let there be a dark-skinned black woman. At most, there could be another light-skinned woman or mixed-race woman, but never another dark-skinned black woman and a white woman character on the same movie or show. But most times, even that, they'll always use a dark-skinned black man instead of a dark-skinned black woman if they are going to use a dark-skinned, like, unambiguous person, right? And one thing I feel like is that, like, in media, they don't like to have, like, the contrast of dark-skinned black women with white women on the screen at once, because it's too overpowering for the white woman to keep up as a dominant factor in the movie or show. I noticed that, like, they kind of get their character is easily more viewed as flawed when you see the contrast of a dark-skinned black woman with them. So I always notice that they never allow them to be both on the same show at once. It always has to be one or the other. Either you're having a white woman or you're having a dark-skinned black woman. You can't have both, though, you know? And if there's a dark-skinned black woman, then her contrast has to be a light-skinned black woman or a mixed-race woman, or like something like that. She got to be mixed. She got to be something. She has to be unambiguous, though. But she can't just be plain blonde Becky White. Okay? Few exceptions, of course. Clueless, and I think that one movie with Gabrielle Union. But that was the whole point of that movie with Bring It On, of like they were supposed to be button heads and stuff like that. But it's like the whole thing, like, it adds a certain level of tension when both are on the screen at once. But as far as modern day, why do I feel as though we don't really have any representation currently? I feel like it's the thing of, we have to recognize, as dark-skinned black women, we are in MAGA land. Okay? Mega, mega, MAGA. We cannot sit around expecting representation for unambiguous black women to be actually unambiguous. To a white person, these are dark-skinned people, okay? These people look at those people with those one-drop rules that you're talking about, and they're like, blackity black black, okay? Look at these niggers running around here. I see you. So it's like, for us to be complaining and saying they're not having any representation for us, they're like, damn, what more do these niggas want? And what I think is like the biggest difference between back then, of why we had like the Nia Longs, Angela Bassett's, the Taraji P's, Violas and stuff like that, is that black media used to be in a stronger position back in the day. I think right now it is unrealistic for us to complain about mainstream media not putting unambiguous black women to the forefront, because that was never the case. That was never how we truly got our foot in the door, even back then. Most times back then, we kind of had to break those doors down through making our own media. We had to have like the Tyler Perry's. Taraji P got her first real gig from Tyler Perry. He had to start by making plays. He had to build his way up. You know, like a lot of these actors and actresses we know that we're like so enthralled by were made by Black directors and producers who back then took it upon themselves to create stories that Black people had to play in order for the story to be shown. We had like the Tupacs, we had like big musicians like taking time to become actors to play in these directors' films and stuff like that. Even think Michael B. Jordan now. We thank God to have Michael B. Jordan, and we're like, oh yeah, Michael B. Jordan is like this big time Hollywood unambiguous Black man actor. But it's like even him, he had to be down in the dumps with his director that he works with named, how is my mind blanking on this right now? Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed right now. Oh, Ryan Coogler. I didn't even have to look it up. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, Ryan Coogler has to start making small films. They had that one movie with them on the bus. What was that? What was that Ryan Coogler movie where the Black boy got shot? And then there was a big outrage about it. Fruitville Station. He had to get Michael B. started with Fruitville Station, which was a small-time production, and then slowly they built their way up all the way until they were in the mainstream doing Black Panther. So I feel like for us to realistically complain about unambiguous Black women not being showed in the mainstream, it's never gonna happen through us saying like, oh my God, why aren't they mainstream? You need to go and watch small productions of Black women who are acting and building their way up right now, who are our age group, because they're probably not going to go mainstream for another couple of years, you know? So it's like unrealistic for us to really expect that they're going to put us through, because even the ones that we have right now, that's not how they got to where they got to today. They got to where they got to today because they refused to take no for an answer. They went and did small productions. They went and made self-titled films. They went to film festivals and things of that nature. Like, we can't as Black women sit around complaining about not being represented in mainstream media when we have so many stories to tell. You better pull that iPhone out and get to filming. You better get on Google Docs and get to writing. You better get started calling people who want to invest in films. Like, we don't have time. We don't have time to sit around and complain that mainstream media refuses to add us into films, because they're never gonna do it. At the end of the day, I just don't like. I felt like this was a good time for me to reiterate my point, because I made this video a couple of days ago of like talking about how we are no longer in the position of 2025 able to complain about representation. Because at the end of the day, if you really, really cared about seeing unambiguous Black women in film, why do you care about mainstream music, mainstream media? You better hit up Tubi. You better go get to watching them girls who are on there fighting for their lives, trying to make a career for themselves. There are plenty of unambiguous Black girls who are looking for an opportunity and who are doing things right now that are going to build their track record enough to eventually maybe be on mainstream, but even then they're going to be lowballed. You know what I'm trying to say? If you don't support them in their small productions, even if they do get on mainstream platforms, they're going to be getting paid a tenth of their other actors and actresses who are on set with them. So it's like you see Taraji P. Henson complaining about the pay that she gets to this day. Viola Davis to this day. What's it called? Who else recently? Monique to this day. Monique did an Oscar award winning performance for Precious and still only got paid like $50K, I think, or something like that for that movie. That movie made like hundreds of millions. So what are we talking about right now? So it's like you're complaining about not seeing Black women actresses on mainstream media, but that's probably the best thing that ever happened to them, because guess what, they're just gonna get there and be taken for easy. They're gonna be taken for low-balled prices. They're gonna be like, right now we're not even in the position to be able to ask for what we're worth. You know what I'm trying to say? So unless you guys are willing to support these actresses in productions that are not funded by mainstream, we can't keep discussing representation over and over. It's like a tired dead horse that we keep beating at. It's really a useless conversation to have. And I just feel as though like I hear what she's saying, but at the end of the day, to white people, these are black people in their communities. This is what black looks like. Like, we can't keep complaining that they're not representing black correctly when that's their version of what black representation is to them. We need to find our own representation of what is black to us, you know, and we need to create that for ourselves. Right now, 2025 is the modern day where we all have similar resources as far as like we have phones, we have, you know, cameras everywhere. We have all types of stuff and ways to create stories for black people and create our own black media. We can't talk about mainstream media anymore. We need to be having discussions about black media and what is black media up to? What is the current state of black media? And how can we get black media back to its glory days of how it used to be when we had Tupac on our screens, when we had, Nia Long on our screen, when we had all these great actors and actresses really putting in the work, maybe not being paid to their fullest potential, but loving what they do and being willing to do what they love regardless of pay. Like, we can't really be having these discussions with mainstream media. This is MAGA country. We're not gonna get on these films. We're not gonna get hired. They're not gonna pick us at the end of the day. Unless you want to see a black woman up there playing a mammy, aka Annie from Sinners, we're not getting no mainstream coverage. You know, and I feel like we're low-key asking to be abused when we ask to be in mainstream media, because it's like they clearly don't want to put us in when we don't speak up. So then when we do speak up, if they do put us in, it's going to be some like, here, damn type of thing. And then it's just going to be like something where we're either not represented in a light that is positive, or we're like, you know, used as bait, or like, you know, it's just going to be something really just anti-black. So it's like you're actually kind of setting up these actresses by doing this and stuff like that. So that's how I feel about the whole situation. I feel as though this is modern day. There is no more conversations we need to be having about representation. You better go online, find an actress you love, and keep track of her career. Help her out every single time she's in a movie. Support that movie because she's in it. Every single time you see a position where you could like show that she has real supporters and like fight for her right to have equal pay and things of that nature, you need to go and do it. There is no more conversation about saying that mainstream media won't hire black actresses. We don't need mainstream media in order to be hired. We can make our own productions. We can sell independently and find ways to make money and bring the economy in the black media space to a point where we don't have to have these type of discussions with them. Mainstream media is not the only answer and solution. Bitch, y'all better start watching Tubi. I'm tired of this.
Too much media.
Welcome to Too Much Media.
Welcome to
Tune in
Too Much
to
Media.
Too Much
Have fun.
Too Much Media.